Hello, I am Akibit and you may have known me from my gaming live streams and me being silly. However, in this video, there would probably be none of that. So in this video, I would like to analyze a YouTuber named Linus from Linus Tech Tips channel, or LTTs. He has criticism towards another YouTuber named Steve from Gamers Nexus channel or GN. I like both channels. LTT or Linus Tech Tips make entertaining videos about, well, you guessed it, tech. And Gamer Nexus, on the other hand, makes videos mostly on in-depth analysis on PC parts and previews. Well, mostly PC parts. But sometimes he does expose shady business practices as well, which I like. So Linus posted his video Breaking My Silence. He alleged that Steve from Gamers Nexus have conducted some breach of journalistic ethics. Yeah, we'll discuss Linus's points one at a time. We'll see if it's good, we'll see if it's bad. So I am making this video because I like analysis in general, and should Linus's allegation prove to be substantial, then I as a viewer should adapt accordingly and be wary of the Gamers Nexus future videos. But on the other hand, if Linus' arguments are unfounded, then it just means that Linus has just discredited Gamers Nexus, one of the few prominent consumer advocate channels, which I feel that consumers are negatively impacted. So anyway, let's start.
Hey everyone.
Hello.
Before we start our pre-WAN show topic today, I'd like to acknowledge a couple folks. I'd like to acknowledge our team who works so hard to deliver outstanding content to our community. And second, I'd like to acknowledge our community. No one's perfect. Yes, even us. And for as long as Linus Media Group has existed, you guys have been there to help us. You've held us accountable when we've gone astray, and you've also supported us when an attack against us is unfair, and it's time for someone else to be held accountable.
Okay.
Earlier this week, Gamers Nexus took us out of context again, and I can't keep ignoring this sort of thing.
Linus recently in a WAN show episode said the following regarding why they did not make a video when they found out about the way Honey works years ago, in response to how he believed he might be perceived if he had raised awareness to Honey's actions when his team discovered them.
Everyone's mad at me. It's that simple. I'm spreading the word for the smaller creators. That argument doesn't save me there, and it's not going to save me if I tell people to uninstall this extension that gets them a better deal so that smaller creators can get their affiliate revenue. Are you kidding me? There is just no way that I make that video and I don't end up hanging from the nearest tree.
Well, that's the video we're making right now. And if that were to result in backlash like he thinks it would, then so be it.
Even if we ignore how disingenuous it is to compare the climate today and what we know today to the climate years ago when we originally dropped our Honey sponsorship, our regular viewers will know that I provided additional context that dramatically changes the meaning of that quote.
So he says he believes that his clips has been taken out of context. So we have to review his response on Honey clip as well. I'll have to provide context first. So as briefly as possible, on the 22nd of December last year, a YouTube channel named Megalag posted a video exposing Honey, a browser extension that people use to find the best coupons or deals that they have. 1. Steal affiliate referrals, and 2. Withhold higher values coupons. I recommend you watching his video in full. All links will be put in the description. So stealing affiliate referrals are bad for creators as it essentially robs them of commissions. Withholding higher value deals and coupons are of course bad for general consumers. Anyway, in Megalag's video, he found that Linus Media Group or LMG were already aware of the affiliate referral stealing, but have not made any video. Instead, only replied to a post in the forum. Note that the reply made no mention of withholding deals or coupons, so apparently Linus Media Group actually did not know that. This video, Linus accuses Gamers Nexus of taking him out of context. From his clip in this video, I believe that he is taking Gamers Nexus out of context as well. So in Gamers Nexus's video about filing lawsuit against Honey, I won't be watching the entire video in full, it's like an hour. So in brief, from beginning to 7-minute marks, he was laying down introductions, context, and plugging his own merchandise. Afterward, from around 7-minute mark to 15-minute mark, Steve, this gentleman from Gamers Nexus, made a long explanation regarding how stealing affiliate referrals not only affect creators but affect consumers as well. He made no discussion at all regarding the withholding of deals and coupons. So at this stage, I am already a little bit in disagreement with Linus regarding his clip being used out of context.
This hurts consumers by the following. 1, diminishing the possibility that new solo reviewers and upstarts make it to the stage that we're at, effectively pulling up the ladder and gatekeeping consumer advocacy. This is inherently bad for you all. It is bad for the consumer if that leaves people of a certain stature and larger as being the most viable. Second is it increases the chances that smaller and medium-sized creators compromise on their ethics and values and sell things like fully paid for unboxing videos that sort of pose as an independent review, or they just increase the count of invasive ads. Third, it increases the chances that larger reviewers and publications can monopolize their dominance and the review business, which we think is bad, despite being at a size where we could exploit this too. So back to—
Okay, so I don't know if he's making more arguments about how stealing from small creators leads to consumers being affected regardless of the withholding of higher values, coupons, and deals. But anyway, so that's what he's getting at. He's saying that even if Honey did not withhold the coupons and deals, the stealing of affiliate referrals from small creators would also affect the consumers already. So that's why he inserted a clip of Linus to argue against what Linus is saying. Because Linus thinks that it only affects small creators, and then he claims that if he only comes out with just the small creators angle, then he would get hung from the tree. But Steve from Gamers Nexus is arguing that just stealing the referrals code already affects the consumers, so maybe they should have come out with the information right when they only know about the stealing the referral codes. I think that's it. So as you can see, you can see that he's discussing only the affecting creators part of the problem of Honey. So he's not making any discussion on the deals and coupons.
To get deeper into this, we need to address the comments made by a channel much larger than ours, because those comments and statements directly conflict with this entire video and with our beliefs at GN. This is not a video about Linus Media Group, so we'll keep this very brief. Linus recently in a WAN show episode said the following regarding why they did not make a video when they found out about the way Honey works years ago, in response to how he believed he might be perceived if he had raised awareness to Honey's actions when his team discovered them.
Everyone's mad at me.
Okay, so it's the same clip that Linus played in this WAN show, so we are not going to repeat that. But as you can see in this clip, he was only talking about affecting small creators as well. So I personally don't see how his clip has been taken out of context at all. And well, he's making this entire video discrediting Gamers Nexus based on his belief that Gamers Nexus have taken him out of context in his Honey's video. So it seems to me that the foundation is already very shaky right now. In the Breaking My Silence video, he claims that he has been misquoted and he has provided additional context that dramatically changes the meaning of that quote. So very unfortunate for me. Now I have to analyze the other video as well.
Honey's been doing. So I've got a few things to kind of discuss. First of all, the only point from Megaleg's video that we were aware of 3 years ago when we halted our Honey sponsorship was the affiliate code ripping. We heard about that from some tweets, like this one.
So he confirms that he only knows about the affiliate stealing, not the deals or coupon withholding part. So that's fair.
From Barnacles.
So he claims to have known it from a tweet. I have you note that the tweet only have 4 comments, 1 retweet, and 9 likes.
We also saw it covered on our own forum. There we go.
His own forum. I don't know what these are. Apparently only 4 people reacted to this.
So there was that was not really news, that part of it. But you know, obviously, as creators, we saw that and we were like, hey, that's not really cool.
Yeah.
But we didn't really think that, other than, you know, any creator friends, that it was something that impacted the general consumer. So it wasn't something that really merited a full video or anything like that. Thanks, Dan. Okay. Anyway, affiliate code ripping, bad. Affects creators, doesn't affect the end user. We were not the only ones who knew about the scam, though. Here's a video from 2020. I actually didn't watch this one.
Okay, so he's claiming that he's not the only one who knows about the affiliate stealing. Well, that's fair, but based on a tweet that only have 9 likes, and this video that we are seeing that Linus himself is using to defend himself, there's 1.52k subscribers at 33,000 views. I hope that you who is watching this would agree that there's not a lot of people who see these videos, right?
But I don't know. The whole thing for me with this is that Megaleg did reach out to us for comment, and my general position on it was, yeah, we dropped these guys 3 years ago. This all came out, like the affiliate ripping stuff, everything we knew about came out years ago. I'm very interested to see the video on all of the other stuff. I don't really know what exactly it has to do with us. I am a little confused still as to what exactly it has to do with us. Anyway, back when we dropped Honey, we had a call with their executive team. It was clear that they had no intention to revise their business model away from the affiliate code ripping. So we decided to end our sponsorship agreement with them. If we'd known about any of the more end-user-centric issues discussed in Megaleg's video, such as purposely not giving users the best deal possible because of behind-the-scenes partnerships with companies, we very probably would have raised more alarm bells, but we had no reason at that time to believe that Honey was anything other than what it claimed to be, which was a coupon-finding service that took an affiliate cut.
That's fair.
Many in the industry stopped working with Honey without an LTT video being made. So I think that one characterization.
Yes, I have some problems. Who are these many in the industry stop working? Is he insinuating that if there's anyone else who still take Honey sponsorship, does that mean they are willingly getting screwed by Honey? That's a strange line of reasoning to make if that's the case. And when he said many, how many? Okay.
Of this whole situation that
We're the only ones that knew and didn't tell anyone.
We knew and didn't tell anybody is bizarre.
We were publicly informed by other people and then acted on it.
And he seems to think that's enough. And I'll be honest. So when I saw in Megadex's video that Linus and his teams already knew about the affiliate referral steering, I don't hold it against him because we know that Honey is owned by PayPal and Linus has a business, and I just assume that he doesn't want any trouble with PayPal. So I don't hold it against him at all. He has his primary responsibility would be towards his employees and his families. So to me, I'm fine with that. So I respect his decision, but we also have to think forward. We now know that should there be Honey 2.0 electric boogaloo, then the response from Linus and his teams would probably be the same. That is to keep to be as quiet as much as possible. If you are small creators, then don't look to him for advocacies, I suppose.
So we publicly posted on our forum that we dropped them and gave the reason for it.
We've also never really been like...
So is he saying that posting on forums is enough? In Megadex's video, it was shown that when Linus Tech tip channels, when they sponsor like Honey, they do it on videos. Is he under an impression that every viewers on his channel frequent his forums? That's weird. I find this listening a little bit dubious. But let's continue.
People have tried to draw parallels between this and Eufy, but Eufy's a tech company that had huge end user problems.
Yes.
Like that's something.
Okay, I don't know what Eufy is. I never heard of it. So, but I assume that in this case, they successfully advocate for consumers. So that's good.
That we do, that is something that we have done always.
And Eufy had major implications, like immediately right now for user privacy.
Yeah.
I see.
Whereas Honey, it's in some ways it's like more insidious. But in other ways, it's less immediately damaging than like, hey, an unencrypted feed of like every camera that our company has sold.
I don't get this reasoning. So because it's less damaging, it's okay to not warn people about it? Like, does he have a scale between making a video and not making a video? I'm a bit lost. Okay.
Like there's bad, and then there's like really, 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 really bad.
And also in our realm.
Like, I'm sorry, but his statement lobs me a little bit in a wrong way. It's like he just keeps repeating that the small creators don't really that matters. I think small creators are in one way simply consumers with a job. Most consumers have jobs, right? So I find strange to make a distinction between small creators and consumers. I think small creators are just consumers who are trying to make ends meet.
As for Karma, why we took a sponsorship from Karma, they assured us that they didn't do any link yoinking, which when we tested it seemed to be true. We only worked with them once. We did 4 sponsor spots on 3 videos, and then
I guess
didn't work with them anymore. As for the landing page that uses our likeness to promote Honey, we no longer have any direct contacts that are working there, but we're working to have the page removed. Hopefully we can. Speaking of Eufy, Anchor still uses our likeness. And with these really large and in some cases overseas companies, it can be very difficult to get stuff like that fixed.
I hope the issue got resolved.
Ike's Orange says, Linus, people think that because the video sort of implies that only you knew, so people are misinterpreting that. I mean, I don't think it sort of implies. I think our prominent featuring in the video leads people there. I don't really understand that. I don't really get the emphasis on us, to be honest with you.
Really, he doesn't get that? His channel is literally called Linus Tech Tips. So don't you think that browser extensions is related to tech?
I don't really know what people are expecting me to say about it other than, yeah, we like heard about it in the news. same as apparently basically everyone else, given how many folks stopped working with them in the 2020, 2021 timeframe. And
yeah, about that. So apparently Charlie or Moist Critical have this to say of why there's a drop in sponsorships.
The reason why there was like a drop off in Honey sponsorships wasn't because people dropped Honey. It's because Honey dropped their budget for marketing expense. That's just wrong.
I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the other possibility or explanation. So yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
What is
Sea
this?
Surfer says it's also arguable that LTT was by far the largest channel and thus had the platform to motivate wider change. It's arguable. It's very difficult to argue. I mean, given that Mr. Beast was the #1 Honey promoter, I think that if you were to make the argument that LTT is bigger than Mr. Beast, then not only would that be a difficult argument, you'd be kind of a fucking idiot. So, like,
I think they meant largest tech channel. Know that Mr. Beast doesn't do tech reviews. At least I think, I will never know. But, you know, live streaming and talking, responding to random questions can sometimes be hard. So I don't really hold it against him for making that mistakes.
I don't know, dude.
It's fair. It
Cool.
happens to the best of us, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Should we move on? Like, I don't
have a ton else to say on this, I think. Like
yeah.
honestly, I watched the video and I remembered us dropping Honey, but
Yeah.
didn't particularly remember the reasons. After some people brought up the old video that you had mentioned,
Yeah.
and a couple other things, I like vaguely remembered that, but I wasn't really a part of video stuff at that time. So like,
I don't know.
I don't know.
The situation's bizarre, dude. Like, I am a victim here.
I was surprised
Like,
by
I don't know if people noticed that.
Yeah.
Like, as a creator for whom affiliate revenue from Amazon was
I think this is where people doesn't like his argument very much. I think saying that he's a victim is sort of a emotional argument or manipulation. Personally, I don't like that as well, but I get where he's coming from. But I don't think people don't know that he's a victim. I think people just want some heads up from one of the large tech channel. I mean, as we have seen from this video, he only cites some tweets and videos that don't have that much views. So one could argue that if Linus Tech Tips made the video at least telling us what it does regarding to affiliate stealing, he doesn't have to tell us to do anything. He doesn't have to tell us to uninstall the extension. He can just say, there is this. You're welcome to do whatever you want with that information or something. So I find his arguments very strange to me.
in 2020, 7% of our business team's revenue. Like, this had a significant impact on our business, and absolutely it would have impacted other creators too, and they are victims in this. But it doesn't change that anyone who relied on affiliate revenue and who had it skimmed by Honey was victimized by Honey. We were compensated, at least partially, by
a lot of the people that were sponsored by them which was like the internet.
Others creators compensated at least partially as well, or is this only LTT's thing?
That point in time.
Yep. But like,
I think one could argue that they didn't come out with this because I don't know if the compensation has strings attached, maybe. But well, we will never know. This is just speculation. So,
guys,
and then the Karma Now thing looked bad. Working with them one time, that's something that stood out to me quite a bit during the video, was that it was assessed in its current state. because you obviously can't go back and assess it from the past. But that gets tough because you don't know, like what you guys are saying, they assured that it didn't work that way. You tested it. Okay, cool. They can change it on you. They could have changed it on you immediately after the sponsor spots went up.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
We don't know when it happened.
I don't know. It was all
could have happened
ago,
years later. Like, who knows?
Okay.
Yeah, Voight says, for me, it felt like Honey was quietly dropped as a sponsor with no messy breakup. Could have been any reason. But as you said, back then you only knew about the affiliate ripping, which isn't too bad, especially for users. Yeah, exactly.
It's really bad for creators.
Yeah, it's really bad for creators.
But it was also being blasted from the rooftops at that point in time.
Yeah, like, I don't know, maybe
Then we'll need evidence for that, and his own evidence shows that that's not true. You would expect him to make the best defense or arguments as possible, so we would assume that the videos and tweets that he would have cited would be the best or the most widespread shouting from the rooftop as much as possible, but this video shows no such thing. I'm sorry, but the arguments and evidences are very weak in this video.
Galeg is living up to his name.
Wait, so now he's blaming Megalag. Okay. Cool.
It's like, at that point in time, it's also like not really our story to break. Like if other people are already reporting on it and it's getting around a lot.
What?
Yeah.
I think it's blowing up so much right now because of the downsides for users.
Yeah, I could see.
Well, Dot and Megalag have a lot of subscribers, so maybe, just maybe, it's because Megalag has more viewers, usual viewers. So what are these arguments? I'm sorry, I can't really accept these arguments. Okay, so apparently this clip was from the 1st of January, which the full WAN show was on 28th of December. So apparently afterwards, they also made an update about Honey as well, so we'll see.
We dropped Honey as a sponsor 3 years ago because we learned about their link hijacking. Link hijacking sucked for us, but as far as we knew then, had no impact on the user. We had no idea about the alleged other misdeeds until that
so
story
same
broke
things
last
as
month.
the last clip.
In hindsight, it is possible that if we had made a video 3 years ago, it could have saved creators some money.
Finally, he says that.
Given that the vast majority of creators, however, stopped working with them around that same time, I don't know that.
Not this again. So how many he counts as vast majority? How does he know? Who told him this? Is there like a statistic somewhere that I can check? And this is not even accounting for Moist Critical's comments on this. Oh my.
For sure. What I do know is that if we'd made that video, it might not have gone very well for us.
Like, for instance, I'm going to interject here. This isn't in the notes.
What you're referring to as Honey is, in fact, B shit plus Honey. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's like at that time, yeah, okay, we could have made a video. We were being inundated with links and shares and whatever about this from other creators at the time.
Well, I know.
It didn't get a crazy amount. I'm talking to them.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't get a crazy amount of views. It didn't blow up like this.
Yeah.
I think probably because it was
Well, it wasn't set to ominous music that time.
Well, and it was anti-creator, not anti-user at that time.
Sure.
So most of the creators that
What is this argument? What? So this argument would hold water if someone as big as Megalag made a video about it, but only about the affiliate part. But if you couldn't find it, then I'll not be finding the video for you. I'll not be defending this for you. I mean, you tried, and that went poorly. Like he could only find the 1.4K subscribers and 23K viewers. That doesn't look good. I'm so confused. Like, sure, if there's someone with 800,000 subscribers making about the affiliate stealing part and it didn't blow up, then sure, his reasoning would be very sound. But that doesn't seem to happen. So how could any of them make this argument?
knew about it and were also getting spammed about it. because like it was tweeted to me back then.
Okay, so if you claim that, so does anyone know about CRISPR by Mayo Clinic? 1 million subscribers, 1 million views. Wow, if there's so many views, I think that's technically common knowledge, right? This is a very bad argument to make.
The bigger issue is that if we had made a video, it may have actually been a really bad look for us. Think about it. If I made a video imploring our audience to uninstall an extension that purportedly, remember, this is we have to look at it in terms of the information we had at the time.
At the time.
If I told everybody, uninstall Honey, an extension.
Yeah, but except that's not what people are demanding them to do. They just want Linus and his team to tell us what happened, isn't it? I think most comments are, why didn't he just tell us? Why is he making this argument? It's strange.
That supposedly gets them a better deal because I wasn't making enough money from it?
Well, not just him, but other people, other small creators that are reliant on affiliate links or bloggers. Like, this argument seems selfish to me, which is fine because, as I have said, he has a duty to his employees and families. So there are so many YouTubers and companies that are not consumer advocates, and I can't force them to be so. But him using all these and the other videos' weak arguments, that doesn't help him at all. I think just saying that he doesn't want trouble with PayPal would be good enough reason to me, but other people may not share my opinions. And that's fair, but these arguments are also not quite good.
Do you really, honestly, ask yourself, truly, think that would have gone good for me?
I'm going to interject again.
I don't know. To me, it's 50-50. Especially if he craft a narrative that other creators, you know, the small ones, are affected as well. I think that would have went great because people care about small creators more than big YouTubers. I don't know. When he make this argument, it gives me the impression that he only cares about himself, even though he's trying to present himself as someone who cares about the community.
Sure.
With another weird thing. Like when we first started, if you monetized anything to any degree, even if you turned on ads on YouTube at all, which you could turn them off back then, and it would actually work, you would be flamed.
Now, 4 years ago, that wasn't the case anymore.
Yes.
But I think the point Luke's trying to make is this.
It's changed over time.
This perception, this acceptance of, you know, creators needing to make money. I mean, the number of comments we'd get in the early days, like, get a real job. You know, that doesn't happen anymore at all.
Now people
like,
ask for ads on
get
Twitch
that bag,
and stuff.
girl.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's a very, very different.
Is it? I don't get that impression, but maybe for them they do. Well, my opinion remains unchanged. He is free to not tell us, but then you could argue that they could be a little bit less selfish and tell other people and hopefully help those small creators. I mean, all these arguments are, I feel, that's a different way of saying that they don't care about small creators. Like, that's it. And that is fine. But they're doing this roundabout way to justify their action. It makes them look bad.
Mentality. We have to put ourselves in the frame of mind of what things were like 4 years ago. And 4 years ago, if I'd said, uninstall this extension that gets you a better deal so I don't get my affiliate revenue,
You would have gotten flayed.
I'd have gotten destroyed. Look.
Just say that you don't care, but because I know small creators, that's why I'm telling you this. How hard can this be?
How much flack I take if I remind people that ad blocking is piracy, in that it circumvents compensating the creator. Watch how predictably the chat is going to blow up saying that that's totally different. It's not totally different.
Okay. It's totally different. Sorry. But anyway, see this video. Anyway, no, they're not the same. Adblock remove ads will essentially remove pain. Honey gives convenience. This is like arguing that taking away painkillers from pain patients is tantamount to taking away addicting drugs and cigarettes from normal people. How do you think that those are the same? How do you think that ad blockers and honeys are the same? One gives convenience, one takes away pain.
It's a little different. It's related though.
It's very closely
Definitely
related.
Yeah.
No.
And everyone's mad at
I disagree. I completely disagree with this.
me. It's that simple. I'm spreading the word for the smaller creators. That argument doesn't
Here
say
it comes. This is the part where Gamers Nexus clip.
me there, and it's not going to save me if I tell people to uninstall this extension that gets them a better deal so that smaller creators can get their affiliate revenue. Are you kidding me? There is just no way that I make that video and I don't end up hanging from the nearest tree. I mean, now that we found out that honey is harming the consumer, obviously f them. Like, obviously. But again, we didn't.
Okay, remember that the entire point of my video is not to say that he's wrong for not warning other creators. But right now, I still fail to see how he was taken out of context.
I don't know how many times I have to say this. We didn't know about that.
In Gamers Nexus video.
We didn't say anything because we didn't know about that. And we had no reason to.
Yeah, that's not what everyone's been saying.
Like, and that's another thing. Like, we don't shout it from the rooftops every time we stop working with a sponsor, and neither does anybody. That is such a weird, bizarre expectation that some people seem to have.
We've
Really? I mean, sure, sometimes deals break down because one of the party perceive that the deal is not beneficial enough for them. But in the case of honey, it's outright stealing affiliate links from creators. I don't know if that's illegal. I mean, there's a lawsuit, but only the judges can decide on that. He doesn't seem to agree that affiliate referral stealing is a very problematic practice.
Well, that's a very modern thing too on YouTube. The
Is it?
company expose thing, I think is fairly different.
Do you expect the NFL to like replace Monday Night Football with a 3-hour special about not using Surface tablets anymore when the sponsorship ends?
And
This isn't. I'm sorry, that made me laugh. This is not even an argument. This is like a hyperbole. Maybe he means a 5-minute session on why they drop a sponsor. Of course, nobody is saying that. Nobody is expecting that. And besides, NFLs are not tech tips. NFL did not press themselves as consumer advocates. On the other hand, Linus Tech tips have done reviews, have go out of their way to be supportive to advocate for consumers. How are these comparisons even work between him and the NFL? How is he making this argument?
Of course not. That would be spectacularly unprofessional.
We've stopped working with a bunch of different sponsors because of getting customer reports from our viewers about how they had bad experiences with them or whatever.
Of course.
We didn't shout from the rooftops. We just stopped working with them.
Yeah, and if they clean up their act, we might start working with them again.
And that's fair.
Hopefully that's the case, to be honest.
And again, oh my God, this piece is so important for everyone who somehow missed it before.
Okay.
It turns out we didn't need to make that video because plenty of other creators stopped working with Honey around the same time we did. Just because nobody else or some people didn't notice, there was a big news cycle around this. And it spread like wildfire in the creator community.
As this one,
no, obviously not.
but it was a big deal. I remember.
But creators knew. We found out. We found out multiple times by being bombarded.
Why is it when they're making the argument about a lot of people knows, a lot of people stop using honey, it's the time when they stop showing any proof? How many people are we talking about who knows about this?
That's how we found out.
There was also a lot of creators individually sharing it between each other, but not like with links through text or whatever, not as video.
That's not a strong argument. Of course, there would be someone who do that. Of course, there would be someone who tweets the thing. Of course, there would be someone who made YouTube videos. The crux of the issue is that not enough people know about this.
Another major thing that I missed last week is that, as we said in our response to Megaleg, obviously this situation raises the question of, should we look at our policy of leaving our sponsor spots in our videos in perpetuity? That has been what we've done traditionally because, as you know, I've always been a bit of a, well, once it's out there kind of person. I don't believe in deleting our history. I don't believe in revising our history.
Yeah.
I don't have opinions on this. They are free to do whatever they want. I think that's the end of what Linus seems to count as context that are missed from Gamers Nexus. He claims about the climate or the change in perception of the viewers regarding the affiliate sniping, but I don't know if Linus has actually seen the Gamers Nexus video. It's about how hurting creators hurts consumers. Even in this section, it isn't about the withholding of deals and coupons at all. It's still about affiliate snipings from 7-minute marks to 15-minute marks. That's a long time to talk about one thing. And then they use Linus arguments to argue against. Like, that's it. That's nothing out of context about this. They are not making arguments about the coupons. They are not making any other arguments except the one presented in the clips. The one Linus said it himself. If he talked only about small creators, he'll be hanged from the tree. And then Steve from Gamers Nexus said, no, affecting creators also means affecting consumers. Like, that's it. The foundation for making this video discrediting Gamers Nexus is already very shaky. Like, maybe if I squint my eyes, then maybe I could see it, but not now. Anyway, so we've done with the Linus and Honey's response. I hope that I have shown enough that why I disagree with Linus' belief that his clip was taken out of context. Like, the other context in the video doesn't matter. Adding those into Gamers Nexus video would only be bloating the runtimes. It's so weird. It changes nothing.
I mean, I don't expect everyone to agree with my viewpoint. It's very clear that not everybody does. But what I do expect is for it to be fairly represented. And this particular instance of misquoting is bad enough that many from Steve's own community have used words to describe it like
Don't you think that's the fault of viewers? That they don't watch the videos, or at least the relevant section? Like, there will always be viewers who didn't watch, just comment. So I don't know how this argument that there are viewers who disagrees with him means anything. I mean, there are, like, right now, there are viewers who disagrees with him. Linus, what the? Commenting on other episodes, blah, blah, blah. So the public groveling is unbecoming. Yeah, if we are going to do this against Linus, we can do it too. But that would then be factual of the video involved, right? I mean, at least according to him, I mean, he's not trying to be whatever those comments are accusing him of, right? So surely that must mean some comments are not true.
pointing, misleading, disingenuous, and strawman. To my knowledge, no retraction has been issued, even though I believe it is unlikely that the volume of comments about this went unnoticed by Steve and his team. You guys may remember another video Steve made about
I don't know how you know that,
but 2023. But what you might have missed is that his treatment of us then was part of the same pattern of poor ethics and misrepresentation. To be clear, many points in his video were valid, but many others were not.
So for some reason, because of his perceived misrepresentation, now he's bringing back a 2023 video on him. I'm so confused. If he has a problem, why not just tell Gamers Nexus right then and there? Now that I have analyzed that his foundation on Gamers Nexus misrepresentation on the Honey's clip being not strong, it feels like he's just trying to retaliate Gamers Nexus on the 2023 expose on his company. That's bad.
And it was due to fundamental flaws in his approach. Not careless or sloppy flaws, but objectively unethical, unjournalistic flaws.
Oh, here it comes.
You shouldn't take my word for that. While I do often report on things and I do my best to act in the community's interest, I'm not a journalist. So why don't we instead look at ethicsandjournalism.org? They have some good articles on subjects like bad news bias and right to respond. Or maybe we could look to the BBC. You can pick your poison. The point is that while not every publication has exactly the same rules, there are plenty of helpful resources out there that outline the generally accepted standards and ethical responsibilities of a journalist. It's clear reading any of them that Steve's approach in recent years falls short in numerous ways. If you prefer a video summary, here's a
I don't know why Steve have to be held accountable the same way as BBCs do, but
convenient one from Dr. Ian Cutress of
I'm not under impression that he's as big as BBC, but maybe I was wrong. Maybe he's that big.
The story Gamers Nexus provides is one specifically about Linus Media Group, which changes the nature of such a topic. For example, one part of ethical investigative journalism is, unless it's uncovering an explicit crime or break of the law, reaching out to get a formal response in advance. Gamers Nexus did it with Principled Technologies, and that blew up. Gamers Nexus did it with Newegg, and that blew up. Somehow, those companies got special treatment, but Linus Media Group did not. This isn't me sticking up for Linus Media Group here, but I'd be interested to hear the reason for the disparity. Steve, in his update video, explicitly states he doesn't have to ask permission, but that's not the point here. Reaching out to Linus Media Group wouldn't stop you from posting your video, just like it didn't stop you him posting the Principled Technologies or Newegg videos. The precedent set for the last 20 years of tech journalism and 100 plus years of investigative journalism is that you at least reach out.
Citation? I mean, he's a doctor, right? What? Maybe Dr. Ian, I'm sorry if I pronounce your name wrong, Ian Cutress might not be 100% correct. So he claims that Gamers Nexus did reach out to get a formal response in advance with Principled Technologies and Newegg. Apparently, they did not. For Principled Technologies, they reached out to Intel, but not Principled Technologies. For Newegg, they blasted them on Twitter. Then they post video, and then Newegg want to talk with them. They told them they can talk after their videos goes up. That's a direct contradiction to Dr. Ian Cutress' statement, like 100%. And worse is that these videos about Principled Technologies and Newegg, you can just look at them on Gamers Nexus channel. It's right there on his channel. And you're wrong? How can we trust you then? If you're wrong on something very obvious, how can we be sure that we can trust you on other points? Now, Linus and Dr. Ian Cutress agrees on the right to reply or respond. He cited this from Ethics and Journalism Organization. First, who are these people? So apparently they are initiative at New York University. Are they some sort of a universal standard organization? Like he said that he said whatever their values are is universal. It's not. Let me give you something about ethics in my line of work. So sometimes when I do a project, if it's related to something that I have to be reviewed by ethics committee, I have to write up my detailed plans, which have to adhere to those ethics. Even on the same profession and topics, the particular ethics can be different across multiple organizations or institutions. There will be overlaps, sure. I think all ethics universally would have the do no harm part in the ethics, but some details can be different. In Linus' video, he cites this website and BBC. This website also cite the BBC guidelines. So, well, it looks like, oh my, two of the organizations use the same thing. But so what they're doing is like a circular citation or something, like a Ouroboros, like he's eating his own tail. Like, okay, so I guess what happened was BBC did it, and then the university guy probably saw it and think that it should be a standard, and that's fine. But you can't cite this and insinuate that this particular code is universal. So let's have a look at other journalism organization. Let's see how they think. IPSO, who are they? Well, the full name is the Independent Press Standards Organization in the UK, established on 2014. So there's a blog that states, do journalists have to contact people before they publish a story about them? The set of rules which IPSO enforces, code of practice, does not state that journalists must contact every individual or company before publication of every story. And then they put in some exception. In fact, there are several reasons why they might not. For example, so that means it can be more than this. So for example, comments may already be in public domains, maybe inappropriate, maybe telling the person prior to publication may have an impact on the story. Well, that's similar to what Gamers Nexus put in their ethics, is it not? So apparently Gamers Nexus believe in other organizations' ethics. So apparently not every organizations believe in the absolute right to reply. Also, when I search for the ethics guideline for journalists, this one prepared by United Nations Communication Groups, the website is on UNICEF. Not once they talk about right to reply or right to respond. Another source is a bill the House of Commons in United Kingdom states that the right of reply is to collect factual inaccuracies in the press in specified circumstances. The right to reply is there after the publication, not before. The right of reply in this case is not the same as the BBC's or the Ethics and Journalism organization. So to insinuate that all journalists have to adhere to right of reply, the Ethics and Journalism version is very disingenuous and not a strong argument. Here in Wikipedia, the right of reply also said that it's a mean to right to defend oneself against public criticisms. Council of Europe recommendation define a right of reply as offering a possibility to react to any information, not before publication, but react to the inaccurate facts after the media publication. So Linus's and Dr. Ian Cutress' arguments are not that strong. I would say that they are very weak. I'm sorry to say. Even in the Wikipedia of Journalism, Ethics and Standard, there are no mention of right of reply. Like if it's that important, it should be somewhere in here. The common elements is not there. Respond. No, well that's correspondent. That's not the same word. But yeah, there's no right of response, right of reply at all. So Linus and Dr. Ian Cutress' arguments fall flat very hard. Like, I'm sorry. It's a bit shameful if a stupid rabbit anime boy can do research better than a millionaires and a YouTubers, don't you think? It's ridiculous. You can disagree with Gamers Nexus code of ethics, but you must use arguments, not whatever this flavor of bandwagon fallacies that everyone is doing it, so should they? This is not even a real bandwagon. This is like a cardboard version of a bandwagon. It doesn't exist. Sorry, it's so ridiculous that I am in disbelief right now. But yeah, now I have shown that the misrepresentation and the right of reply arguments are very weak. It's an argument, I think, but not that strong.
Ian's critique was carefully worded, and I don't blame him, given the climate at the time, but it was both extremely valid and it was pointed enough that Steve felt compelled to respond to it. Ironically, with a rushed late-night ramble fest that was so poorly received that he pulled it down before I even got a chance to finish watching it back then. Thankfully, there are re-uploads of the video if you look for them, but in a nutshell, Steve spent about 20 minutes rationalizing...
Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't seen that, but that's not relevant to this discussion, I believe. And also, it's because he posted it in text on his own website, so this one. So he didn't make a video, he made articles on his own website instead. And you know what? Between videos detailing ethics and conducts and a video about honey screwing creators, I would be more mad the fact that no video about the creators were made, because the videos on ethics doesn't hurt anybody if it doesn't come out, whereas the one about the creators, they hurt the creators who doesn't know about honey's stealing affiliate referrals.
That decades of journalistic best practices around right to reply simply don't apply to him.
Yeah, where is this coming from? I need citations. Like, you can't cite ethics and journalism and BBC and say that it's universals. That's not how that works. Maybe something from the United Nations would be cool, or the ASUS, if that's one.
Felt a little ironic coming from someone who has accused me of gaslighting in the past. Now, he did issue a sort of retraction via a community post that you can still find on the channel, where he committed to republish that video at a future date, but he said that it would be within a broader channel update, so I'm not actually sure if that ever happened. And either way, what he didn't do is retract his flawed arguments. Only the video...
Yeah, I said what I said about him not publishing a video. And also, I find this ironic because Linus said that, well, he posts the honey's affiliate stealing on his forum, so it's okay. But now that Gamers Nexus posts the ethics and stuff on their own website, suddenly not okay? That's weird.
Made them. I say this because you can still find many of these arguments on his secondary GN mini site in the ethics statements section. Now, obviously, there are some valid policies in here, but many of the others pretty much boil down to Steve's personal moral code rather than the standard journalistic code. And I'll expand on that.
Yeah, I'll say this again. What's standard? You need to cite... You keep saying standard. According to who? You? Now you're talking about your own moral code now. You're talking about your own personal moral code now. That's ironic.
Not a bit later, but the short version is that no reputable journalist would validate his arbitrary justification for his own conflicts of interest or his convoluted no-contact policy.
You know why? Because cultures, occupations, professions are different. So a single, like the one code of ethics to rule them all would not be appropriate for every kind of journalist. That's why there isn't one. Like, did he think that that's a one ring to rule them all?
That he used to justify.
No, if he thinks that's one, he should cite them accordingly. That's what I'm saying.
Failure to reach out to us for comment as part of our right to respond. Now, some folks don't seem to understand why this is so important. I have seen lots of speculation that Linus was just upset because Steve cleverly didn't give him a chance to weasel out of legitimate criticism. But that is not the case. We have proven over the years, again and again, we welcome constructive criticism, and we go out of our way to maintain open communication channels with our community, like through our through our sponsor concern section of our forum, and through our incredible ECC squad who lends us their expertise at multiple stages of our production pipeline. No. Right to respond matters because of the impact that it can have on your accuracy. By taking a single source and, for his own reasons, refusing to fact check their misrepresentations, Steve made multiple critical errors in his coverage of the bill.
You will see that he keeps citing the right to respond, even though it's not a universal standard. And Steve from Gamers Nexus have right to reply with exceptions. Even the IPSO, the one I showed, have exceptions. What are you talking about? You're saying like he doesn't have right to reply, like, period. That's not what happened.
Billet Lab situation. Now look, I know this example is from 2 years ago, but it's one that I'm obviously familiar with, and it very clearly
Okay, let me give you some context about the Billet Lab. So on 2023 video, Gamers Nexus have made a video detailing a situation where Billet Lab gives their cooler prototype to Linus Tech tips for them to test. As someday, now they want it back, but it found its way to a charity auction. See what they are going to say.
It's the way that Steve believed and still believes that he should be allowed to just avoid inconvenient data sources when he crafts his narratives. First up, Steve missed that Billet originally gifted the block to us. We were under no obligation to return it. He missed that they told us explicitly that it should work with a 4090 before we attempted it.
Okay, so he said that, then he put up this email. Where is the gifted email? I don't see it. I could be blind, and that's okay. Maybe it hides itself in a corner. Maybe I don't know. And then Linus said that it should work with 4090, the graphic card. Then later they have to pin their message that they should have said it may fit. Cool. So in a response video, which he seemingly has a script, he even got it wrong. That's concerning. I can't believe this. So yeah, conveniently, there's no gifting mentioning in this email receipts.
He missed that Billet told us they were comfortable with us publishing the underperforming results, as long as we put it in context. And finally,
Okay, well, I guess we have to... Well, I'm not going to watch the entire cooler video. Now, remember that Linus said that Billet told us they were comfortable with us publishing the underperforming results as long as we put it in context. Now, what context did Linus Tech Tips channel give? So on this video, they didn't mention anything about this thing works only with 3090 Ti's. I think this gentleman said that
They sent us a 3090 Ti kit. They said it would work with a 4090, but they didn't know how well.
Okay, well, I guess
So
we've
in
got
their
their
defense,
answer.
yeah, did some research for you, Billet Labs. It doesn't work that great.
The best case
I don't think that's enough of a context. They just said they sent us 3090 Ti kit that for some reason they lost it. So that's why they used 4090 instead. I don't know what happened and I don't really care. But the thing is, that's the context. What? The context is they are not designed for 4090. It was designed for 3090 Ti kit. The video also neglected to mention that there's a gap between in case they use 4090. So that's why the heat transfer was not efficient. That's why the thermal benchmark returned poorly. They didn't even address this in their pinned comment. It's just whatever this is. So I'm sorry to say, the context isn't enough. I'm sorry if you seriously, if Linus seriously think that Gamers Nexus honey video misquote him, then he's misquoting them too in this video. Misquoting Billet Lab, sorry, in this video.
Steve missed that the block only went into our charity auction because of an internal miscommunication that left the block marked as keeper. A mistake.
Why would that matter? In Gamers Nexus video, they simply report that Billet Labs wants it back. Linus Media Group say okay, but somehow it went into an auction. No one cares what happened. This is what Gamers Nexus said about the auction.
Out of the $100 million company's coffers. Making matters worse, in conversations with Billet Labs, Gamers Nexus learned that the company asked for the prototype back on June 28th. This would allow them to send it out to other media or use it for further development. Linus Media Group agreed at least twice to return the product. The first time they agreed to send it back was June 30th. At LTX, Linus Media Group put the one-of-a-kind water block up for auction at its Extra Life auction event without the permission of Billet Labs. Billet did not learn of this until around August 11th, at which point it was told the block is gone. Again, this is despite LMG agreeing in late June to send it back, as LMG would have no further use for the block. Billet told us that it is now stalled, as it no longer has its best prototype available for continued development. It's also missing one of its GPUs. We voiced to Billet a concern of a potential competitor.
I assume they missed the 3090 Ti that was sent with the cooler. Don't know how that happened, but whatever. Yeah, so that's all his reporting. Billet Labs won the prototype back. Linus Group said okay, and then it got auctioned away. Like, that's it. No one cares how that happened. Like, for comparison, there's a video on ASUS scam. In this video, Gamers Nexus Steve tried to RMA and ROG ally. It has a problem regarding the joystick. Doesn't move or something, I don't remember. But then, because of a tiny defect at the shell, not even near the joystick, the company says it's customer-induced damage. Anyway, the point is, Steve did not reach out to ASUS. It doesn't matter what happened inside the company. It doesn't matter if Mr. John Doe have a bad day at that time and cite every warranty claims as customer-induced damage. It doesn't matter if it was a local AI that were doing all that. The fact remains that they are not honoring their warranties. That's it. So back to Linus's case, it doesn't matter how the prototype, the cooler, made its way into the auction. The fact remains that Billet Labs asked for it. Linus Group said okay. Well, there's a mix-up and it went into the auction. That's it. He said that they missed on reporting the fact that they were gifted, even though the email doesn't have that. And interestingly, the email after telling the Billet Labs that on August 10th that the prototype got auctioned, well, we never know what the replies are, or when the reply was made, or how. But there's no email on the gifting. Now, I trust Linus enough to believe that I guess there's actually an email stating that they are gifted, but that's irrelevant. Because afterward, for whatever reason that I don't care, Billet Labs wants it back. The Linus Group says okay. So the fact that it was gifted at the start is irrelevant at all. Like, why is it so important to report that then? It doesn't matter. Just like how it doesn't matter what happens inside ASUS, that results in the customer-induced damage conundrum. The argument makes no sense.
Parity auction because of an internal miscommunication that left the block marked as keeper. A mistake that I took action on within literal minutes of finding out.
Well, I find that a bit dubious, but maybe that's true. I don't know what happens. Maybe at that time, the companies are in shambles. I don't know. But he said in literal minutes. So I don't know when he find out on Gamers Nexus video. They said that the auction was on 30th of June. Then on 10th of August, an email was sent to Billet Labs informing them that they got auctioned. So I assume that Linus knew about this on the 10th of August. And then there was a Reddit post which seemingly made by Billet Labs themselves called Our Public Statement Regarding LTT. So on 10th August, we were told by LTT via email that tracks with what Linus showed on the screen that the block had been sold at auction. There was no apology. That tracks too, I think. We replied on 10th August in 30 minutes, which for some reason that wasn't on the email screenshot that he posted on the WAN show, telling LTT that this wasn't okay and this was a 4 figures prototype, and we asked if they plan to reimburse us at all. Received no reply, no offer of payment until 2 hours after Gamers Nexus video went live on 14th of August, at which point Linus himself emailed us directly. So which is it? Literal minutes after he knows. When did he know? The 14th of August? But by that time, the video was already up. So there's no point in criticizing Gamers Nexus anymore because Linus only know after the video. So that means the video helps. If Linus knew at 10th of August, why did it take them so long to respond to Billet Lab? Is literal minutes not Earth minutes? Or are they going to say that Billet Labs are lying? That's not good. So yeah, even Linus's version of the event don't really make sense, but maybe someone's lying. I don't know, or some misunderstanding, and that's fine. What is not fine is criticizing someone else over this or making weak arguments to make someone else seem unethical.
Now, I acknowledge that I didn't handle the situation perfectly, but I think it is undeniable that these omissions and errors are significant.
No, it's not. I think I've shown that they're not.
That they've done significant, possibly irreparable damage to my reputation, to my company, and to my finances.
Maybe, just maybe it was your fault? Wait, I'm confused. He said that Gamers Nexus video, a lot of them were right, some were wrong. And he cited the Billet Labs. So that means the other things are right. So wouldn't it be accurate to say that like more than 50% is his company's fault then? I mean, even if Gamers Nexus actually misreport the Billet Lab, the other things are actually true. So that's still your fault. That's still part of your companies to blame. Based on Linus's own word, that a lot of them are right, but there are some problem. So that means some of those in his video, in Gamers Nexus video, is legit.
To be clear, I'm only pointing out the finances because it's such an important factor in cases of libel and defamation. As I stated
Okay, is this a legal threat? Okay.
Recently when I was discussing the Honey class action, I'm not a litigious person. I have no intention of filing any...
You can't just wave legal terms around and say that you're not litigious, whatever it's pronounced. That's like saying after some heated arguments, if I say, hey, I have an M16 at my home, but don't worry, I will not be using it on you because there's a law and I'm a good person. It's still thinly veiled threat. Why bring this up at all if you're not litigious? What is this for? But now the other side would be more on guard when you start waving those terms around.
kind of suit because A, it's really hard to say if the line to defamation has been clearly crossed, and B, it would be a giant waste of time and money for everyone involved.
Okay, so if one day he thinks that A and B is not true, then there will be lawsuit. That's why you don't bring up those legal terms if you don't mean it. It makes you seem like you are just threatening the other side. That's bad. Like if his intention is actually as he said, he's doing himself a disservice here.
Bring it up to underscore the gravity of the situation. The thing is, words mean what they mean. And while morality is a personal judgment, journalistic ethics is not.
Oh, he's using the very same Wikipedia page. Well, someone tell him that there's no right to reply in there. So that's a bit weak. I hope he finds a stronger arguments. I mean, it's an argument, just a very weak one.
Determined by collaboration and consensus between peers in the industry. Look, if Steve wants to do his own thing and call himself a YouTuber with strong moral fiber, that's his opinion, and he's entitled to it, and you're entitled to agree or disagree. But if he wants to use words like ethics or investigative journalism, then there are objective standards that he needs to uphold. And he doesn't get to decide when they're important and when they're not.
I said what I said
Now,
about
I believe
the
that
ethics.
Steve is
so
aware of these distinctions,
he,
which
he,
suggests that
he's bringing up the ethics. Unfortunately, he did not realize that the ethics arguments is very weak. So his subsequent bringing up of those points are nonsense or close to it.
he is either ignoring his knowledge because he has failed to properly understand it, or because he is dishonest. I have no evidence to suggest that he is not smart enough to understand these principles. What I do have experience with personally is his dishonesty. The misquote of me in the Honey lawsuit video that forced me to address this is self-evident.
Yeah, debatable. Yeah, that's so according to him, that's what kickstarted the entire thing. Even that is debatable at best. It's nonsense at worst.
But it's the rationalization for not reaching out about Billet that paints a more complete picture.
Yeah, and yeah, I made my argument, so
For starters,
whatever.
he asserts that the information presented in his The Problem with Linus Media Group video was already public knowledge. Some of it was. Some of it clearly wasn't. Billet Labs' representations of our private communication were not public knowledge. And
What?
as we
What? What about what? What? But there's other points. How do you know that the already public information pertains to the Billet Labs? Maybe the other points are the ones that apply to the Billet Labs? What are you talking about? What? Who?
public knowledge. Some of it was. Some of it clearly wasn't. Billet Labs' representations of our private communication were not public knowledge. And as we demonstrated in our response, they were not provided in good faith or with the appropriate context.
What?
Had
Oh,
he reached out
okay.
for clarification, I feel it would
said
have
what
been
I
clear,
said.
both to himself and to his audience, that the events that led to the block being auctioned were an honest accident caused by a miscommunication.
Okay, so in Gamers Nexus video, he did not opine or insinuate what happened at all. He just said that the Billet Labs want it back. Linus said okay, and then it got auctioned. That's it. That there was no insinuation that it was theft or whatever malicious thing. Him bringing these up to make it seem like he was misrepresented was not really true, isn't it? Even if he says that Linus messed up, there will be some people who don't believe it anyway. People will just comment, oh, mess up, in quotation mark, or something. Like, it feels like it is very nitpicky. It's still a fact that Billet Labs want it back, but it got auctioned. Billet Labs never claimed that it got stolen.
I think it also would have been obvious that any perception that I behaved like a thief or a liar is not supported by the facts. It also would have been clear that some retractions and corrections were required in order to address the information that I provided. To my knowledge, no such action has been taken, and the original video is still up. Since we're at this, I would also be very curious to see receipts for the claims that we have a history of failure to resolve issues or unprofessionalism in prior communications.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
GN further writes, we previously had non-public contact with this
Well,
organization.
I don't 100% agree with
about
Gamers
similar
Nexus,
matters
but
that were not resolved satisfactorily, or
That's
wherein
an
we
agreement.
sometimes were the recipients of aggressive messaging pertaining to review topics. That is an extraordinary claim that I believe requires extraordinary evidence. I'm not going to deny I've had my fair share of cranky.
and I like how after Gamers Nexus provide receipts, some people just go, oh, why do you have those problems now? But that's not the point. They are showing those receipts because Linus asked them to. It's not like they want to revisit the problems now. It's so weird.
in my life. It is possible also that he could be referring to another individual who worked here. But I dug through every DM and email that I could find with Steve. I probably don't have all of them. I have switched phones many times in my life.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I can't find any evidence to support this. I'm not perfect, so I want to make it upfront right here and say that if I acted unprofessionally or aggressively at any point, That was not my intention, and I'm truly sorry. But also, the whole thing just doesn't make any sense. Like, if you stop and think about it. If he reached out for comment, and I actually responded in the manner that he alleges I might, with dishonesty or aggression, publishing that response, right? That would be great supporting material for his expose. So even if the argument that he doesn't need to reach out because I could be rude in return held up ethically, which it doesn't, it also doesn't hold up logically. And the same goes for his claims that I could somehow turn it into an opportunity.
Yeah, Linus's argument seems to make sense, assuming that Gamers Nexus can be sure that they can outsmart him in the events that he's actually being deceptive. What if he can't?
Opportunity to mislead. Mislead who? Assuming his evidence and conclusions are solid, any deceptive action that I took in public would again give him further ammunition to make his case, and
how would he know? How would anyone know? Even if you think that your conclusions are rock solid, that doesn't mean that any further deceptive action cannot change it. That's not a good argument. This seems like fishing for any argument and getting only the weak one. Like, I admit, it's an argument, but it is very weak.
Unless he's afraid that I could somehow bamboozle him in private, the most that I can do there is offer an explanation or context, both of which could only help him. If his intent was truly to provide an accurate
He
account.
can't read your mind, Linus.
Unfortunately, as many of you have come
I
to
don't think
realize
Steve
after
can
the
read your
latest
minds.
thing, I don't believe that that was ever the intent. Now,
I mean, I wish that he can read Jensen's mind, but it is what it is.
I know that the first criticism of this segment is going to be, there goes Linus again, all emotional defensive.
It would seem so.
But what would you do?
When
What would you have me do?
Sorry, it would seem so when you throw out all these weak arguments.
I apologized for the errors that we've made, and I kept my mouth shut about this stuff for ages, in the interest of moving past this. It's not working. And like, this isn't some random comment on Reddit, guys. This is an influencer with massive reach, misrepresenting me on an ongoing basis.
Wait, I'm so confused. He's saying this like Gamers Nexus has been sniping him all the time. I wasn't aware of that. Did they? Like in any of these videos, are there any point where he sniped at Linus and his group? Like, these videos are after the August 2023 expose. So he's saying like, oh no, I can't take it anymore. What do you mean? You're saying like he keeps sniping you in these videos. Did he? Maybe? I don't know. I didn't watch all of them. Like, here is the expose videos 1 year ago. Now, which of these videos did Gamers Nexus snipe Linus and his team? Which one? And I'll pose a question right now. How many times have Steve, Gamers Nexus, sniped at Intel, Nvidia, Gigabyte, NCXT, Corsair, outside of their own videos? A lot. When there's any discussion about PSU, the Gigabyte spicy PSU get mentioned. The extra spicy H1 case of NCXT will become a legend all the time. Or even Dell. Yeah, when Gamers Nexus review the Dell pre-build, it's so bad that now there's a It's Better Than Dell award that they keep bringing up when they found a bad pre-built PC. Like, what is this? Does Linus think him and his company is special somehow? It's so strange.
How long should I stay silent to atone for my real sins? And how many times should I be unfairly attacked before I'm allowed to get defensive?
What? When? It's been more than a year after the expose. What is he talking about? Did I fall into a temporal wormhole? Like, it could be my fault that I don't know about this. I guess so. I mean, Linus seems sure that he keeps getting attacked. I don't know. Is it in private? I don't understand. What is he talking about? I think out of all statements that Linus have made, yeah, this segment makes the least sense to me. I can't even argue against it. It's not something that I can argue with. I'm sorry, I'm so lost. I don't know, my brain feels blank from his statement. I'm
The
sorry.
thing is, if I allow myself to be misrepresented, that opens the door for someone else to be misrepresented. At some point, I'm sure you guys can agree, it becomes necessary to stand up for yourself. I am not saying I'm perfect. Spoiler, I'm super not. But there are numerous conflicts of interest around Gamers Nexus covering us in any way, which he well knows because he lists them on his website. And a token gesture like forgoing the AdSense revenue on one video falls a little flat when you compare what can be gained through subscriber growth, AdSense revenue on future videos.
Is he saying because of the existence of conflict of interest, you can't trust him? Or whatever he has done was from those conflict of interest? So the fact that he was being honest is a proof that he's being dishonest right now?
Videos, not to mention from elevating one's own reputation and brand at the cost of a competitor. Over the last year and a half, I've made sometimes quite difficult efforts to put aside my personal feelings and move on. In spite of my well-founded concerns about Steve's impartiality, not to mention the painful personal history.
What? The Billet Labs and honey? That's it? That's not a lot. You're saying this like this happened back in 2010. What is going on? Am I missing something?
Some of which I just laid out. We, including me personally, have made an active effort to just go back to normal, start shouting out Gamers Nexus. We've done it multiple times for their stories of reporting, and so we should.
Why does it feel like now it's like a guilt-tripping phase? Okay, it's fine. They're just recollecting their history. It's fine.
When people do good work, we as an industry should praise it. But that should be a two-way street. The honest truth is I don't actually know what Steve's issue with me is today. My last message to him
Nothing.
was on the day he published the expose, and I never got a response. I
What?
will read it here so we can all be on the same page.
Oh yeah, this one.
A journalist might have reached out for comment to get valuable context first, but we both know that, once again, this wasn't about making the most accurate video. Your glass house is showing. Here I'm referring, of course, to the analogy of throwing stones in a glass house. Scaling beyond a few dudes is a big challenge, and I really hope that one day you get there. One, I still think that even if your judgment is clouded right now by the giant conflict of interest you have around reporting on us, your heart's in the right place, and that it would be good for the industry. Two, I think it'll be good for your content and for your audience for you to have a broader perspective. I'll be moving forward as normal and won't be participating in any kind of nonsense public sniping. It'd be good for views or whatever, but I'm pretty focused on growing the company and our test capabilities and our team. You're still welcome at future LTX events, and we'd be happy to resume working together in good faith if you ever decide again that working together as press is good for the industry. Until then, Linus.
That was very passive-aggressive and condescending and abrasive. If anyone send those to me, they will be blocked. Not even my friend would do that to their own friends. What is this? That was so childish. I'm sorry, I was under an impression that Linus is a fully grown adult, a former CEO, a millionaire who has wife and children. This is so weird. You act like this to other people, regardless if you think that they have done you wrong. You should still give them some professional courtesy. Wait. So the three paragraph, you did nothing other than being abrasive, and then you're still welcome at future LTS events. This is so condescending, and he thinks that this is a good message to show to other people. I'm sorry, I think no normal person type like this, even if they think that the other side done you wrong. That's not something I expect from the adult. And this is coming from a stupid rabbit anime boy. This is shameful.
Is good for the industry. Until then, Linus. What I said holds true today, including the part at the end. I want to move forward, but that's
Sure.
going to take some work from both parties.
I want to move forward, but remember, you defame me and hurt me financially.
So I'm going to shift gears, and the next part will be directed to Steve, who was sent an advance copy of my letter today, which he has responded to, kind of, along with a request for comment on his apparent personal challenges around covering.
Yes, so that the email is just saying that
Steve,
I'll be talking
on my show
about
today, I'll be doing a segment
Steve's
outlining some of the ethical and journalistic issues with your content that I've observed personally and that I have seen raised by the community. I will be especially focused on how they have impacted your coverage of me and my company, because I'm most familiar with the relevant facts. But these issues appear to run deeper, and I believe they could be impacting your ability to be objective overall, something I know the community values greatly.
Now that he said that the issues appear to run deeper, I feels like Linus saying that how many times he have to be attacked for him to get defensive. It feels like he's the one with deeper issues, because as I have shown you, after the 2023 expose, there's no more Linus sniping. I think there was one, and there's a HTB news. Linus steps down, which is from CEO, I think. That's it. That wasn't a snipe. I think that was a joke about Steve from Gamers Nexus having to call him at 3 a.m. and Linus have to walk down the stand naked to his computer or something. Like, that's it. I hope he didn't take offense to that. That's a light-hearted joke, right? I don't know if that was an attack to him, then that's not mentally healthy. So I hope not. But then I don't know what he's talking about when he said how many times he must be attacked. Like, it's just two videos and a clip. What are you talking about? It was a year. More than a year. I feel like I'm in a parallel universe here. I'm sorry.
There will be a particular focus on your stance around right of reply, since it affects accuracy so much, and there will also be some discussion around misquoting. As
that foundation was amazingly shaky. I'm sorry.
Your inability to address your clear conflicts of interest when it comes to covering an entity that you have chosen to view as a direct competitor, rather than as
you said that they have stated conflict of interest. Now you said that they failed to do so. I'm confused. Oh yeah, and apparently that message that he shown, the amazingly condescending message, apparently Gamers Nexus said that it was sent to his old phone, the one he doesn't use anymore. Even though Linus know about the new phone number and has been in contact with that new phone numbers all the time. That doesn't look good to him. So he presents a message and claim that Steve from Gamers Nexus did not respond, but he himself right then here didn't realize that it was sent to wrong number. Why is he keep making mistakes in a prepared scripted talk? He could read the script. You have time to prepare. I find this very baffling to me.
a collaborator or peer, as you did in the past. If you have some comments and evidence on what breakdowns caused your inaccurate coverage of us in the past, why you seem to find it so challenging to cover us objectively, and what steps you plan to make to rectify these issues in the future, I would be happy to include your thoughts in this segment. The segment will also include the following letter that is addressed to you. Steve, we do our best around here to do what we believe is right and to stand up for the consumer. That leads to us doing journalisty things sometimes, and I understand basic journalistic principles, but I'm not a journalist and I've never claimed to be. The reason I'm sending this to you then is not because I'm some journalist reaching out for comment, but out of respect, and because I was once a collaborator and supporter, and I hope to be again someday. For that to happen though, I do have some requests. Everyone is human, and we all make mistakes, but I believe that for you to become the journalist you aspire to be, there are some errors in both your approach and in your coverage that are large enough to merit correction.
I said what I said.
Obviously, not everything needs to be pulled. Your methods aside, it's clear you were right about a lot of things in August of 23. But it's also clear that between the...
Here he says that you were right about a lot of things in August of 23, and yet he said financial backlash and defamation regarding those videos? Why is he contradicting himself? If Steve got it right, a lot of things in August of 23, that means the backlash is not really his fault, is it? What?
Conjecture, editorialization, and what I hope are simply errors rather than lies, a number of retractions are in order, both on that piece and in your other coverage. This isn't just for me, but also...
So when are you going to retest the copper cooler with 3090 Ti's, Linus?
So for your community who looks to you to do the right thing. As for the personal side of things, I can't ask you to like me. You clearly disagree on a personal, moral basis with some things I do. Which of them are real and which of them are performative, I'm actually not sure anymore. But it doesn't matter. That's your personal compass, and you got to follow it. What does matter is treating others in the industry with respect and being prepared to be held accountable the same way you hold others accountable. Traditional journalism, while a competitive battlefield, has no absolute authority and is quite often a brotherhood with shared goals that hold each other accountable to mutually agreed upon standards. It's not a brutal free-for-all.
Saying this after
So, as
legal
part of being
threat?
a contributing
Okay.
member of the Tech Brotherhood, I expect you to be open to critique in the same way that you expect others to be open to critique. I also expect that if you cover us publicly in the future, you do so with honesty, impartiality, and proper disclosure of your numerous conflicts of interest. With that said, regardless of your motives in 23, your
Wait,
actions
so
did
what-
serve as a
was
wake-up
it
call
this-
for...
Was it disclosed or not? I'm confused. He said there is, but then that's not. Whatever. That doesn't change the conclusion. Whatever.
us to supercharge the changes that we were slow rolling, and for that I'm thankful. Now it's time for your wake-up call, should you choose to accept it. If you can't put your biases aside, simply recusing yourself is an option, but it might require some further retractions, since you've claimed in the past that covering us is so very important because of our business's relevance to the tech industry. Well, if that's no longer the case, then any snipes that relied on that for justification probably need to go too. I understand you may not want to rebuild this bridge, but I still want you to know that while Gamers Nexus LLC is every bit as much of a for-profit business as Linus Media Group Incorporated, I, Linus Sebastian the individual, still see you, Stephen Burke the individual, as a colleague and potential future collaborator. Because the reality of it is...
After sending that abrasive message? Cool. Okay. Is this how you treat your friends? That's concerning.
Personal feelings aside, we both fight for the same team. The consumers and the community. A community that is stronger if we just cut the tribalism and work together. I've always said that a rising tide lifts all ships and that we all benefit from more interest in our hobby and more contributors to our community. I have always encouraged our viewers to follow multiple outlets and get multiple perspectives, including yours. You used to tell me that you agreed with those things. I hope you can again, because this is going to be especially important as we navigate the weirdness around benchmarking machine learning assisted cards like the upcoming 50 series. So in summary, I welcome valid, constructive, good faith, two-way feedback, but when I told you a year ago that I had no interest in public sniping matches, that was the truth. Our community and
But this is not a public sniping matches. He just used your clip to demonstrate a point.
Tech used to stand out as one that embraced collaboration and rejected beef. I would like that.
Like I thought that I could, see Linus's point of view, but it's so hard when I think all the arguments are very weak. It's very bad.
That again. I chose to make my statement as a segment on WAN Show and a clip on our Clips channels rather than a dedicated video in hopes of finding a balance between sharing my side finally and igniting drama for views. So can we forget the past and move forward? See you at Computex, Linus. Now, I'd like to come back to addressing you all. For once
Me?
in the history of online
That was a
communities,
joke.
guys, I beg of you, this is not, ooh, shots fired. Do not get into a mudslinging match over this. Continue the good work you do, holding creators accountable. But this is not, and it should never be, LTT versus GN, us versus them. Some folks are going to insist on interpreting it that way. But I believe that the majority, the rational viewers, should be able to see the truth of what I'm saying, even if they don't always agree with the source, and see the importance of moving on. As for the ones that can't do that, look, if their viewpoint is closed, we gain nothing by arguing with them except wasting our energy. Energy we need to power our TX 5090s. So it flies above it. So with that in mind then, funny memes, inbounds. I like humor as much as anyone. But if Steve wants to move on, then I would like to respectfully request an end to the GN bashing posts. For that matter, any other publication.
Okay, I don't remember if... Oh, that's more video, isn't it? I just realized. But you can't accuse Gamers Nexus of not moving on when you ask... Well, when Linus asked for a receipt. So I don't know if it was a complaint by comments or Linus himself, but it's not that Gamers Nexus can't move on. They were asked for receipts. What do you want from them?
In our various community gathering places. YouTube comments, Discord, Reddit, and the LTT forum, and any that I haven't thought of. I'd like us to be the change we want to see in the world. Thank you, you guys. One last note. I know that we did announce that we were going to launch our mod mat this week.
Okay, it's his merchandise now, so whatever. Finally, it ends. And then Linus Lostman, a YouTuber who specializes in repairs and a very prominent voice in light to repairs, also weighed in on this situation. I don't really care. I just want to analyze his arguments. It's very weak. It's very disappointing, to be honest. I thought that we'll get something here, but unfortunately, no. He just seems to, because I will never know, but he seems to be fishing around for any arguments that may support him, which doesn't really work when put under scrutiny. All of his complaint about lack of context ultimately doesn't matter. Like if ASUS or Gigabyte said this, they'll be bashed to high heavens. Like maybe ASUS should have their own YouTube channel. I don't know. ASUS Tech Tips. I don't know. And then whenever there's criticism, they can just do this, I guess. I hope that everything resolves itself. But in my opinion, I think the problem is with Linus. I'm sorry. Him and the comments talk like Steve from Gamers Nexus keeps attacking them. No, it was a year and a half. That's a long time before the honey clip. Like even their premises is not real. Their foundation, like the misquoting of honey and Billet Labs, is very weak. The light to reply also not very strong. Now that I show that it's not that universal. Even the word light to reply itself for the government is not the same as what Linus and Dr. and Cutress is insinuating. All in all, this is very shameful to see someone clearly older than me being like this. I like him. I don't hate him. So I guess as long as he's not on WAN show, I can continue to like him. Now one thing though, that I would criticize Gamers Nexus is the no contact policy in case of past unprofessionalism. I think that even if people were unprofessional with you in the past, I think they still to me, that there's no actual code of ethics to dictate this, but I still think that they should have a right to reply. Even if they were unprofessional in the past, I think that's okay. But I respect him if he thinks otherwise. So that's fair. But I think that's the only criticism that Linus have that I sort of agree. Everything else is weak, shaky. The entire segment is almost nonsense when you actually think about it. I'm so sad. Why is this happening? Anyway, as a response to Linus Lostman video, he make another segment, a short one, but it is a segment.
Hey everyone. My plan was to not discuss the whole situation right now any further. Like many of you, we wanted to keep this whole thing from dragging out. So we said our piece. Steve from Gamers Nexus wrote a manifesto that could probably be best summed up as "No You." And then it was done.
What? That's not what it is. Oh no. Oh no. Do I really have to go through this? Oh no. I'll be brief and it's not a no you. What? Dr. Ian Cutress one, for example, it's not a no you. It's a direct argument that Dr. Ian Cutress was wrong. This one says the one I never got a response, the abrasive message. This is when he said that it was a new phone. It was an old phone that Steve don't use anymore. What does he mean? No, you. That's disingenuous. Oh no. I am trying really hard to give him the benefit of the doubt, but it's getting more difficult as he do this.
Or so we thought.
Like bad faith argument.
Shortly before WAN Show, Linus Responds released an hour-long hit piece, and in a now-deleted comment, Steve mentioned he had seen the video before it went live, making it clear that, at the very least, he was...
What? Why is this matter? Oh wow, so Linus workforce, I guess this is as soon as the video got dropped, I guess. Well, either Linus or his viewer workforce. Anyway, that's fine. Who cares?
Involved in reviewing this video before publication.
What? Why is that your conclusion? That just means Steve saw it first before publishing. Why do you think it's a reviewing? Do you think that Steve is Louis' editor now? What? Does he think that there's a conspiracy happening? Or?
When other creators reached out to us in support, we explicitly discouraged any escalation, while Steve seems to be doing the opposite. So,
What? What are you talking about? You were the one who asked for the receipts. I'm in pain. I'm in mental pain. Literally, his last WAN show asked for receipts. Steve gave it, and then you say, no, Steve can't move on. What? Is he for real?
here we are, more or less forced to respond yet again, but we'll keep it much, much shorter this time. Steve asked me to direct any further communications about his ethical breach and persistent defamatory statements to his lawyer. As I clearly stated before, I don't have a lawyer involved.
Then why say defamation and financial...
And I don't want one involved. I wrote last week's address myself with feedback from my team, and this much shorter wrap-up will come from me as well.
So that's what from your team? So that defamation stuff was because of you or your team? Oh my god. I can't. I'm in pain.
The core issue has not been addressed at all. Because of ethical and process errors, Steve published false and damaging information about a competitor.
Yeah, I hope that my video will show that his argument is, flimsy and weak. I can't sugarcoat this.
Reply matters both because it is essential for accurate reporting and because scandal travels much faster and is a lot stickier in people's minds than the, oh, oops, never mind, that comes out when the allegations...
I hope he would appreciate such irony when he realized that his argument is weak.
Found to be false. There's actually a good thread on the subreddit that you guys can check out. That is not the visual for it, but that's fine. The point is that this is so much worse.
What was that again?
Faced with the unavoidable fact that he got it wrong and caused a bunch of damage with his actions, Steve has outright refused to apologize, correct, or retract any of his false statements.
So he blamed his entire financial setback on the 2023 video? Well, you can't accept that a lot of them are your fault, then blame the Billet Labs problem on the entire financial woes. What are you on about? You can't just say, yeah, a lot of things in his video is correct. But no, the financial backlash wasn't because he's right. It's because he's wrong. What is he talking about? I'm becoming Canadian now.
That's next level, man. I am extremely grateful that so many of you are seeing how misrepresentative the original reporting was, both around the Billet Lab situation and around the honey thing. And
That's it. So his problem was only around Billet Lab and the honey. And you blame all the setbacks on that? The Billet Lab? Because honey was very recent, so any financial backlash wouldn't be happening right now. But for the Billet Lab, so he's blaming everything on the Billet Lab. No. Why are the arguments getting worse? It's supposed to get better. I
want to applaud the maturity of the folks, many folks, who have come out and
Curse.
said, hey, I'm sorry that I raised a pitchfork while I didn't have the full story. I'm still deeply saddened by the virality of Steve's first video because of that.
Yeah, your weak argument managed to convince some people. That's sad.
Many will never hear the truth, a fact that is worsened by Steve's ongoing refusal to issue any corrections or retractions in spite of the fact that his reporting on me contains clear, objective errors and misquotes.
It is in my opinion that no distraction is needed to me. His argument is very weak.
So in summary, Steve's response shows that his standards for himself fall far short of the standards he holds others to. And look, dude, stealthily removing the word journalism from the GN Patreon changes nothing.
Yeah, maybe because he's tired of your weak arguments. I don't know. It doesn't prove that you are right or wrong. Like, remember that Gamers Nexus has 2.4 million subscribers. Linus, on the other hand, have 16 million subscribers. I don't think he wants trouble with you, I think.
This whole thing is getting, quite frankly, kind of pathetic. Even my, and I quote, terrible response to the original
I don't want to make emotional statements, so...
piece acknowledged issues on our side, laid out a path forward, which we have taken. I'm so proud of our team. And it included...
Wait. So, according to him, to Linus himself, the problem is with the Billet Lab video. So, in 44 minutes expose about Linus Tech tips, okay, 28.23, 34.47. I can't math. So, that's 6 minutes? 6 minutes in 44-minute video. A 6-minute segment in 44-minute video is the one that ruined Linus financially, or his company. Yeah, right, for sure.
Hey everyone,
Even
welcome back.
in his follow-up video, just half of the video, other half is about something else entirely. Is he claiming that just because of a Billet Labs reporting that impact his company financially? Okay, so
This clip from an
so
LTT
no. In the other 30 minutes, no, that doesn't impact us financially at all. It was the 6 minutes and the other 12 minutes in the next video is the one that ruined us. The other 30 minutes, nah. for you?
It's like, no excuses. I need to own the mistakes, and sorry. Included words like, no.
That wish coming from him in the very same reply or post. To Steve, I expressed my disappointment that he didn't go through proper journalistic practices in creating his piece. He has my email and number along with numerous other members of our team and could have asked me for context that may have proven to be valuable. Like the fact that we did not sell the monoblock, but rather auctioned it for charity due to a miscommunication. And the fact that why we haven't sent payment yet, we have already agreed to compensate Billet Labs for the cost of their prototype. Yeah, except that according to Billet Labs, that's not what happened, right? We received no reply and no offer until 2 hours after Gamers Nexus video on 14th August. Well, somebody's lying. I don't know who. And the fact that we didn't sell them, we auctioned it. That's the same nitpicking that he was doing in this video that we were talking about. Like, sure, you can report that, but it changes nothing. The conclusion remains the same. Look, I'll use Linus's own word.
Nothing would have changed. Nothing that obeys the laws of physics would have changed the conclusion, which is that this is not a product to.
Yeah, nothing will change the conclusion. It doesn't matter the context that he was complaining. It doesn't matter at all.
No excuses. I need to own the mistakes. And
Yeah, but those are just words, are they not? I don't know. I don't know if he actually improved. Well, he and his team has actually improved. But citing that, oh wow, I said I'm sorry. I said I make mistake a lot. That means nothing. That feels like a emotional argument. It means nothing. He should show that improvements were made, not that he has said that he will improve things, because it doesn't matter. I don't know why, but he keeps bringing up arguments that doesn't matter, and this is a fully grown adult.
sorry. Steve's response contained no such introspection and no better path forward. His mask is now truly off for anyone
What?
who used to appreciate him for his ethics and objectivity. As it turns out, he only cares about those things when it's convenient.
I don't appreciate him discrediting a consumer advocate wrongfully. Like, sure, if the criticism is valid, sure, fire away. But I have shown that the arguments are, I said a lot of time, weak. So this is bad.
On that note, just because somebody's running a masterclass in deflection and misdirection, that doesn't mean that absolutely everything they say is wrong. So
Well, that sounds like a projection. Oh, he means that even if he were the one who defects and misdirects. Okay, well, that was almost an. Sorry, I will say nothing anymore.
the last thing I'm going to do today is what you guys rightly
I'm not supposed to attack him. I am not supposed to attack his character.
expect of me. I will meet my faults and my errors head on. I'm sorry that I used unprofessional language, and if I ever said this. Truthfully, I don't recall it, but if I did, I take that back 100%. I'm sorry, and I will work to do better. So where do we go now? I don't know, guys. I see your calls to end the drama, but I can only control my side in this.
What do
My-
you mean? You're the one who asked for the receipts. Did you forget? Sorry, English. Did you forget? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Look. You need to take care of him. Maybe get him some MRI. I think he's getting a bit forgetful, I think.
Team and I have issued corrections and retractions where needed. We will continue to do so. There's a couple fixes that we need for the 5090 video. They're pinned under the video. We're getting all of that sorted. Meanwhile, the other side is spitting on our olive branch, lawyering up, publicly attacking my credibility.
Spitting on our olive branch. You said this after some condescending words and throwing around defamation, financial impact.
With no indication that it will end, and now seemingly colluding with other creators to smear me in public. I don't want to
Okay, okay, whatever.
play this stupid game anymore. There are only stupid prizes to be won. So
Why did you start? Why did you make this video then? Oh, now I'm better than everyone. Oh, now I'm the one who's taking a high load.
yeah, I think I've said enough for now. Obviously, I'm aware of Rossman's video. We alluded to it earlier, and I have some idea what it's about in the lead up.
Wait, so that means you didn't watch it? Or maybe because he's having a show. So hopefully he watched it, and hopefully he watched the the Honey's video too, because he seems to haven't watched it. Like, I feel like he just heard this from other people and then have problems with it. That's bad.
He was corresponding with me, but I don't think now's the time for that. Right now is the time to hang out with awesome people who matter.
Okay, so that's all that is. I'm sorry, but I'm so disappointed in Linus. He's supposed to be an example to us all, but yeah, now we know. You shouldn't hate him. I know he's still a great entertainer. I'm sure he's a good guy outside of these circumstances. Yeah, I have no words. Oh my god. I just want to do analysis and hopefully put the drama to rest. To summarize, his reason for making this video at all to call out Gamers Nexus supposed unethical journalistic conducts are based from his own misunderstanding. That or he just felt that he got attacked. I don't know. I will never know. I can't read his mind. Listen, not from the overseas. And then he complains about the light of reply, which I have shown that it is not always the case. And the light of reply doesn't mean what he thinks it means, apparently. Not all journalistic conducts contains light of reply. And this is the other version of light of reply. The journalistic ethic of standards doesn't have reply or response. That tells you about Dr. Ian Cutress and Linus, I think. But yeah, people make mistakes. Hopefully they get better. Hopefully they have an opportunity to get better. And if you disagree with any of my points in the video, you're welcome to comment. I'll try to address them. Please do so in a civil manner. That's all I'll ask. You're free to disagree with me. But yeah, that's it. So I hope you learned something today. I hope you learned how to dissect some arguments. Well, I can't claim that it is efficient, but I sure hope that it works. And with that, analysis was fun. It's not fun when a party makes only bad arguments. Not bad faith. I can't opine on that, but it is definitely bad arguments. How disappointing. But yeah, if I find some topics that are worthy of analyzing, we'll have more serious talk videos. But with that, I'll have to edit here for today. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next time. Take care of yourselves and goodbye.